Okay, so the aim of this video is to look at the stages of learning skills. There are 3 stages. I'll outline them briefly and then I'll introduce a question and tell you how I feel you should answer that question. So, the first stage of learning that we all go through when learning a skill is the cognitive stage, which is the beginner stage where we see lots of mistakes. We're very inconsistent with our technique, we lack confidence, we need demonstration, an accurate demonstration to build a mental picture of what the skill looks like. We need simple pointers, we don't want to overload people with technical language, just small, simple pointers. And we need also to give plenty of praise to keep people motivated. In the associative stage, which is the middle stage, the intermediate stage, which most people never really leave with regards to most skills, because to leave this stage you need to practice for hours and hours and hours to move on to the next one. But this middle stage then, we're more consistent, we understand the skill, we know what it looks like, we know the basic key points, we make less mistakes, we start to self-correct when we do something wrong, we can realise and correct that sometimes. We need more verbal guidance from our coach, so more specific technical pointers, and repetition is the key, so it's working on the skill for hours and hours and hours until it becomes overlearned and becomes second nature. If we can do that, we can go into the autonomous stage or the expert stage where we are confident, efficient, we can adapt the skill in different scenarios. So in an open environment, when there's a defender coming at us, we can slightly adapt that skill to make sure it's effective. We can perform under pressure from defenders or on a big occasion in a final or whatever it is in front of a crowd. We can self-correct almost always, so we know straight away from the feedback we get from our body what we've done wrong and what we need to do differently next time. And at this stage we can start concentrating on tactics and strategy. So if we're looking at rugby and we're talking about a fly half, it's not about the coach telling the fly half how to kick the ball, it's where to kick it and when to kick it. Okay, we can take the skill as a given, it's become overlearned and autonomous, so we can do it without having to think. Right, so a question on this, okay, I'll tell you what, actually I'll just leave that up for a second there if you want to freeze the video to make your notes. Hopefully you can see it clearly enough. If you press pause and freeze it, you can make those notes. Right. Question then. Okay, so there's an example of a question here that you might, the sort of question you could get maybe on the stages of learning. Okay, using a specific sport, outline the characteristics of the stages of learning. So the key thing there is a specific sport. So throughout your answer, you can only refer to one sport. It doesn't say sports, it says sport. So using a specific sport, outline the characteristics of the stages of learning. So we've just talked about what the stages of learning are and their characteristics. Outline, what the examiner means by that is give a concise account. So by concise, what the examiner means is don't waffle on too long, give the key points, make it concise, it's short and sweet, make the important points. Demonstrate the main features of the topic, okay? So the key word there really when we're outlining something is to give a concise account, give the main characteristics. With this question then, in line with that, we need to use a specific sport to draw our examples from. So, for example, I'm going to use basketball as my sport. Because I've picked basketball, I've got to use that throughout my answer. Okay, so you might want to outline in your introduction the sport that you're going to use. I'll just give you an example of how I would write about the cognitive stage. So, a basketball player in the cognitive stage will make many mistakes. For example, he will miss the majority of his shots. A basketball player in the cognitive stage will also lack confidence. So when shooting in a match situation, he will not believe that the ball is going to go into the net. A basketball player in the cognitive stage needs demonstrations and simple pointers. For example, the coach could show the basketball player the layup technique, step by step, giving simple pointers, such as which leg to take off from and which arm would be the predominant arm while shooting. And that might be enough then. I've given 3 of the main features of the cognitive stage, and the next paragraph then I may move on to the associative before finally moving on to the autonomous. Keeping in mind that as I've chosen basketball as the sport that I'm going to use, I need to consistently use that through my answer. Okay? Thank you.